Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. If you are new here today, welcome. My name is Sherry. Today we are going to be making a crock pot Philly steak and cheese. Now, a couple of days ago, we had done a full prep for the whole week, and this is the final meal of it all. We are adding 2 1-pound shaved steak to my crock pot. We are then going to be adding some Worcestershire sauce. Add as much or as little as you like. In the other day's video, when we were doing some meal prepping ahead, we had made this delicious steak seasoning. I'm just giving a good shake up just to reincorporate and combine all of the flavors. And I'm going to be popping open a jar of my homemade beef broth that I had done and canned it all up. I had made that video probably about a good 2 months ago. I'm trying to go through all of my pantry prep items and to use as little store-bought items as I can, and trying to do all of these videos with what I have on hand. I did have to buy that shaved steak and the bread, but I had everything all else at home. You're going to want to put this on either low for 6 to 8 hours or on high for 3 to 4. I chose high 3 to 4. And my leftover onions and green peppers, I added a little bit more salt as I tasted it. It still needed that little bit more spice in there. Now, if you remember from the other day's video, the cheeseburger potato skins, this is the inside fillings of those potatoes. What I am going to do here is add a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, 1 egg. Now I do like to take my egg and mix it thoroughly before I combine it to anything. That's one of my big pro tips, is that you want to make sure that egg gets fully incorporated. You want to then add some cheese to it. Now again, only cheese I had was this shredded Parmesan and some mozzarella. And I started to add the egg in there and then realized that I forgot to add my mozzarella. So you'll see me in a second grabbing it. Once you thoroughly mix this all together in your hand, you are going to go ahead and grab your breadcrumbs. Now, if you've got homemade breadcrumbs, that's going to obviously be much better than that. I did not have homemade. I just had store-bought. This is a garlic and herb flavored, and I had a good deal left over from a previous recipe, so I used this one up. Now, you're going to want to go ahead and get these mashed potato balls thoroughly combined. After you do that, you are going to want to dip them in your breadcrumb mixture. Now, if you want to add more spices into your breadcrumb, go for it. I figured that was enough for all of us. Then I laid them all out on parchment paper on a baking sheet. Now, if you want, you can air fry these or you can bake these in the oven, but I went a different way. Now, before I start where I was going with, I wanted to mix this all up and show you how delicious this is. I've toasted 3 hoagie rolls. They were still a little frozen, but I also wanted that nice crispiness to it. I added a little bit of Philly mixture, the steak mixture on it. I've added 2 slices of provolone over all of this. I'm going to bake this in the oven At the temperature about 400 degrees until it gets nice and ooey gooey. My time frame was about 8 to 9 minutes. You want to do your own time frame. Once that gooey gooiness is, I had actually then taken them out of the oven. I wanted them allowed to cool for a few before we served this for dinner tonight. And then you're going to see me. I am making these delicious mashed potato balls. I had used the deep fryer earlier this week, so I knew that I needed to change out my oil. So I wanted to go ahead and use the oil for this. Now this recipe actually turned out really good. I've made mac and cheese balls before, but I've never made mashed potatoes balls. So this meal was absolutely delicious. So I just would like to say thank you again for visiting my home today. If you like these videos, please like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe and keep on cooking. Bye, y'all.